Standing with the feet shoulder width apart. Soft bend in the knees. Taking a moment to connect with yourself, the space you are in, the sky above, and the earth beneath your feet. Begin this practice for the earth or transitional seasons with self-massage, placing the palms of your hands on your kidneys, either side of the spine just below the ribs. Feeling the touch of your hands on your back. Notice what you can sense through the palms of your hands. Maybe some movement in the lower back. Maybe breath. From here, we'll tap down the backs and sides of the legs as far as you can reach. Maybe to your feet if that's accessible. Tapping up the insides of the legs, the center of the body, down one inner arm, up the outer arm, across the collarbones to the other arm, over the face, over the top of the head, back of the head, along the sides of the spine, back down to the kidneys. We'll continue with this tapping in the same circuit. Invitation to be sensitive to the kind of touch that you're offering your body and listening to how this touch is received. The archetype of earth in 5-element cycle is the mother. So an invitation for this practice, starting right here with giving yourself touch, to allow the practice to be nurturing, nourishing and comforting, like a mother might nurture and nourish and comfort her child. Noticing if there are any parts of your body that are asking for a different kind of touch, lighter tapping, for example, or some places where it might feel good to linger for a while. Allowing yourself to make the practice your own. And in a way that nurtures and supports you. Next time you arrive at the kidneys, you can place the palms on the kidneys again, taking a moment to notice if anything has shifted. What do you feel now through the palms of your hands, throughout your whole body? And then we're going to take the same circuit, but this time stroking the surface of the body. So the palms move gently over the skin. And notice noticing how this feels. How is it to experience this different kind of touch? And do you feel nurtured and nourished and comforted by it? And if not, is there something you can change or shift that would bring those qualities into your practice? And tune into your breath, inviting it to be relaxed and support you in your practice. Giving yourself time to sense and feel, respond with skill to the needs of the body. And the next time the palms arrive at the kidneys, pausing here again, taking a moment to notice how you feel. And these moments in stillness in between the movements are just as important as the movements themselves. I'm going to continue with some self-massage here, beginning to make circles on your lower back. You can circle with your palms, or if you wish, you can make soft fists and circle with soft fists. You might try both, and again, noticing how the body responds. You can vary the speed at which you circle, slower or faster, and noticing the effects. Listening to what the body is needing right now. You can vary the pressure of your touch, a softer or a firmer touch. Again, listening with kindness to the way this touch is received and responding as skillfully as you can to create that sense of nurturing, nourishment, and comfort in your body. That is the archetypal energy of Earth. It helps us feel supported through the transitional seasons in our lives. And letting this massage come to an end, noticing what it feels like in the back body now, bringing the palms to the front of the belly, just below the belly button. Noticing if you can still feel a connection with the lower back. Having massaged and activated the energy there. And then we're going to massage through the front by making circles on our belly. Here again, you can experiment with the pressure, lighter or firmer, the pace at which you move, slower or faster. Being curious about how your choices affect your body and your energy. what we're doing here is we are activating energy more strongly in our center. The earth in the 5-element cycle is said to hold the center. In some ways, it provides a kind of structure to hold the whole system in place. It comes in after the phase of summer, of fire season. There's this period of greater stillness, a quieting, and a stability before the movement of fall season comes in, the season of late summer. But Earth also comes in a little bit in between all the seasons, so it holds a kind of a special place in the system. Let's switch the direction of the circles here. So after each season, there is that little pause, and time to consider what has shifted throughout that season that is departing before we launch into the next one. A little bit of time to integrate this past season. So because of this special place in the center, we're going to be working with this practice with our own centers. And let's change the direction of the circles again. In our body, the gravitational center is in our lower belly. And this is also in Qigong recognized as a major energy center, sometimes called the Sea of Qi or the Ocean of Qi, or the Dantian. So we are activating the energy in our center here. So as we move, we can move from this stable place in the center. And once more, we're going to change the direction of the circles. Tuning into this space in your lower belly, between the front and the back body. Maybe noticing if there's any warmth growing in that space, or a sense of activation. And then letting the massage come to a close, and pausing and tuning in. Much like the earth comes in between all the seasons, in all the transitions, giving us that pause to consider and integrate. We take a moment between each movement to feel and integrate. What do you feel in your center now? Can you still connect with the center through the back body where we massaged first? Can you feel the breath gently expanding in the center as you inhale and condensing as you exhale? From here, we will balance some of the complementary opposites in our body, front and back, and the two sides of the body. I'm going to start by leaning forward, letting the movement originate in the center. And then I'm going to come back up, lift the arms overhead, leaning slightly back. Now there's no need to go to anywhere near the maximum range of your movement here. Focus instead on the feeling of the movement originating in your center and extending from your center down to your feet and up to your fingertips. You can even make really small movements here, micro movements. Noticing the lengthening through the whole front body as you lean back, and the lengthening through the whole back body as you lean forward. Back body lengthens, front body shortens. Movement originating from the center. Balancing the front and back of the body. And then returning to your center, standing in what feels like balance between the front and the back. Both equally open, equally lengthening, and equally shortening. Let's take the arms overhead again. Let the palms face forward. We're going to sway now side to side, feeling the lengthening through one side of the body as you lean to one side and the shortening of the opposite side. And then alternating to the other side. And again, as before, inviting this movement to somehow originate in your center. So there's a lengthening from the center in your belly towards your feet, down towards your feet, and simultaneously a lengthening from your belly towards your fingertips. And on the opposite side, there's a shrinking or a shortening from the fingertips to the belly, and a shrinking and a shortening from the from the toes rather, to the belly. So everything rotating around the center. Letting the breath be relaxed and comforting, varying the amplitude of the movements, playing with maybe some micro movements, and then allowing the movement to get smaller until once more you arrive in your center. Checking with front and back, side to side, standing in your center. And from here, we will take one more movement. Maybe placing one hand on the front belly, one hand on the back. And rotating from the center to one side and then the other. And what I invite you to focus on here is again this energy moving in two opposite directions from the center. This time it's a spiraling energy. So energy spirals from the belly up the spine towards the crown of the head, and simultaneously from the belly energy spirals down through the legs, through the knees, the ankles, the feet. Maybe you'll find the feet rolling a little bit more towards the inner edge and to the outer edge in different parts of the movement. You can release the arms here if you wish, Let them wrap around, make the movement more dynamic, but maintaining that connectivity to your center. And the sense of the energy spiraling from the center up to the crown and down to the feet. Recalling to allow the movement to be nurturing, nourishing, and comforting for you. So practicing in a way that helps you relax more deeply. And returning, letting the movement naturally find its close until you are once more returned to your center. From here, we will step the feet a little bit wider as we prepare for horse stance. The inner edges of the feet can be parallel, toes pointing straight ahead. If this is uncomfortable, you can turn the toes out a little bit. Either way, whatever you choose, we're going to bend the knees, but bending them in such a way that the knees point towards the toes. So if your toes are straight ahead, the knees will bend and point straight ahead. If your feet are turned out more, the knees will point towards where the toes are pointing. And this is called horse stance because it's got that feeling and a sense as if we're sitting on a horse. So from the center, imagine that you're going to sit down on a horse, sitting straight down, letting the center sink. The knees will bend, but the tailbone remains relaxed and the spine maintains its natural curves. So I'm sitting straight down on the horse, not leaning forward or back or creating any kind of excessive curve in the lower back. I'm sitting straight down. So invitation here to play with straightening the legs, to come out of horse stance and then slowly bending the legs again, returning to horse stance. On the return, gently pressing the feet into the earth to help your center rise. And then from the center, sinking straight down again, being received by the back of the horse. How far you bend your knees, how deep you go into horse stance is entirely up to you. You can work with very small movements, or you can come into a deeper stance, but only come as deep as the spine remains with its natural curves. And being curious here about the experience of the hip joints, the left and right side of the body. As you sink down, do the hips respond evenly? Or is there maybe a lag in how one of the hip joints engages? If you find this, my suggestion is to slow the movement way down, allowing the body the time to equalize the engagement of the two hips. Over time, this will help balance the left and right sides of the body around the pelvis. And next time you sit on the horse, sinking down, and bring the arms up overhead. Imagine holding a fishing net in your hands and cast this fishing net all around you. Now pay extra attention to the lower back as you cast the fishing net back. Make sure there is still that sense of relaxation in the lower back, and there's no pinching or pain or discomfort. If you find that, cast the fishing net in a smaller circle. And can you allow the cast to come not from your hands, but from the center in your lower belly? So the shape of the movement is like an upside down cone. From the center, the point of the cone in your lower belly, you are drawing bigger and bigger circles as you move up the body. Let's change the direction here. This movement helps to build stability in the lower body from the waist down, while connecting with mobility in the upper body, letting the upper body be free and mobile. Notice your breath. Make sure you're still breathing. If there's any strain in the breath, you can always come out earlier than I guide you out. Or adjust, come to a less deep stance if your legs are starting to complain too much. And then let's release. Straighten the legs, not locking the knees though. You can either come to stillness, or if you wish, you can shake out one leg, then the other. Maybe do a little bit of whole body shaking if that feels good. Noticing the effects of the practice. We're going to come to horse stance one more time. So taking that wider stance again. This time we're going to extend the arms forward, turn the palms up. As we sink into horse stance, we bring the hands into soft fists, resting them at the sides of the pelvis. This is the Zhanzhuang posture, a still posture for the earth element, building earth energy in the body. Now check with your spine. Make sure the spine is still in its natural curves. There's a sense of sinking from the center down, the stability in the lower body. But the upper body is relaxed. So notice if you're tightening in your fists, in your arms, your shoulders, your back, your jaw maybe. Can you invite all those parts to relax and release? Can you trust that the lower body, the earth, will support you? Remembering you can come out anytime if this is starting to feel too intense. Listen to your breath. The breath will also let you know about your level of effort. If the breath is relaxed, it's all good. If the breath starts to strain, it's time to adjust or take a break. And then pressing into the feet gently, releasing the hands down, coming to neutral posture with feet shoulder width apart, Wuji posture, a softness in the knees, noticing the effects of your practice. What is the sense of the energy in your body now? From here, we'll step our feet together, preparing for swimming dragon practice for the earth element. With swimming dragon, again, from the center, we're going to sink down, bend the knees, straighten the knees, bend the knees, straighten the knees, sink, that sense of sinking like we had in horse stance. But this time, as the knees bend, as we sink down, we're going to let the hips shift to one side. And then straightening the legs, coming up. Bending the knees, sinking, let the hips shift to the other side. It's a pretty subtle movement. And then straighten the knees to come out. As you straighten the knees, invitation to press the feet into the earth to help you come up. So let the earth herself lift you, and then sink from your center back to the earth, shifting the hips, one side and the other. Let's do one more like this. This is a little preparatory movement. Checking with the tailbone as you sink down, the tailbone continues to be relaxed. So again, we're not making a big curve in the lower back. From here, we'll take the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. Now, as we sink down, send the hips in one direction. We're going to send the hands in the opposite direction, look in the same direction as the hips are moving. Press the feet into the earth, returning everything to the center. Sink down. Send the hands in the opposite direction to the hips and look in the direction of the hips. Press the feet into the earth, rise up. Continuing like this, side to side. Sensitive to the experience in your lower back in particular. Maintaining the natural curves of the spine, with maybe a touch of flexion, if anything, near the bottom of the spine. Tuning into your breath, noticing where in this movement you feel inclined to breathe in and where you feel inclined to breathe out. Returning to that intention of allowing the movements to be nurturing, nourishing, and comforting for you. And if they're not, making some change to the way you practice to bring those qualities in. Maybe bending the knees less, not sitting down as deep. Maybe working with micro movements through the whole movement. Maybe noticing some tension, maybe between the palms of your hands, and inviting that tension to relax and release. And next time you're in the center, releasing the arms, stepping the feet again to shoulder width, and pausing to notice the effects of your practice. What is shifting in your experience? From here we'll move into 3 movements from Long White Cloud Qigong for the earth element specifically. So inhaling, the arms will come to shoulder height. Exhaling, the arms descend. You can take just one exhale here, or you can take many breaths on this descent. This is the part of the movement we're focusing the most on. Inhaling, arms to shoulder height. Exhaling, sinking down. Energy gradually settling towards the earth, like ashes falling from the sky. This is called falling ashes. I've mentioned that earth follows the fire season in one of the representations of the 5-element cycle. The fire associated with the summer and the activity, the expansion, the time out in nature around bonfires themselves. It rises towards the sky, fire does. And then as all the little flames and little bits that have risen towards the sky burn out, they begin to fall back to the earth, to settle like ash, descending. And that is that moment of quiet stillness before the activity of fall comes in. And that's the energy that we are opening to connect with here in this movement. And this kind of settling energy can help us as we're navigating any transitions in our lives. So this practice is great seasonally, but also if we're having a lot of change, a lot of transitions going on in our personal lives. Practicing some of these movements can help us reconnect with, just a moment of quiet stillness, and reconnect with the support that earth offers to help us navigate the shifts and the transitions. From here, we'll place one hand palm up under the solar plexus. Other hand is vertical. We're going to turn at the waist, press the vertical palm forward, look in the direction of the palm. Come back to the center, exchange the 2 palms, sink from the center, turn and press in the opposite direction. This is called spreading the ash. So once the ash has fallen to the earth, we begin to spread it, creating level and even surface. You'd like to add footwork here. As you turn to one side, the front foot points with the toes in the direction the palm is pressing. The knee remains bent. Returning back to the center, all toes pointing forward. Shifting to the other side, the foot turns out, the front foot turns out. Toes point in the direction of the pressing palm. And we find ourselves in Qigong in bow stance. If you're familiar with that stance, that is what we're working towards. The front knee is bending in the direction of the toes. The back leg is straight. And there's a sense of, from the center, sinking down and energy flowing equally into both legs. So we're not overextending ourselves forward, we are rooting through the back leg to give us the support and stability in this posture. Returning to the center, both feet will turn to face the front, palms face the earth, exhaling, sinking, coming back to the horse stance, pressing the palms down now. Inhaling, palms rise to the waist, turning up, exhaling, palms press up towards the sky. Inhaling, palms to the waist, turning the palms over. Exhaling, everything sinks. Palms pressing down. Inhaling, exhaling, palms pressing up. This is called packing and supporting. So here we have spread the ashes. Now we're packing the ash down, packing the earth down, so that we create a very stable surface from which we can rise, support it. Packing. And supporting. Remembering the natural curves of your spine as you sink down, packing the earth, sinking into horse stance. Pressing into the feet as you rise, standing, supported by the earth. Once more. And returning back to the center, back to Wuji posture, neutral posture. Noticing the effects of these earth practices on your body, on your energy, on your emotions, on the quality of your mind. Do one more practice, a practice of the 5 waves. Placing the earth into the system of the 5 elements so that we balance the whole system together. sinking, bending the knees. Inhaling, straightening the legs, the arms will rise. Exhaling, rebending the knees, arms will sink. This is the movement for the earth element itself. So we start right here, feeling that sense of sinking down and rising from a supported place again. With the next inhale, as the arms rise, we'll continue to inhale, open the arms to the sides. Exhaling, crossing the hands at the wrists, curling in around your heart. Inhaling, expanding from your heart, opening the arms. Exhaling, curling and gathering back in towards your heart. Movement for the fire element. Finding balance between expanding out into the world and nourishing our own heart. From here, the hands will rise towards the sky, palms turn forward. We sway from side to side. Like a tall tree rooted deeply in the earth, swaying gently in the breeze. Movement for the wood element. In the center, palms turning towards the body, exhaling. Gentle rain washing down the front of the body. Inhaling, arms rise up, palms face the body. Exhaling, gentle rain washing, cleansing, renewing. Movement for the water element. Next inhalation, palms will come to the side of the chest. Exhaling, bending the knees, pressing the palms forward. Inhaling, arms to the sides of the body again. Exhaling, pressing the palms forward. Movement for the metal element, helping us create space and healthy boundaries around ourselves. And releasing the arms down. The next inhale, arms come to shoulder height. Exhaling, arms descend. This is a sixth movement that balances the whole cycle of the 5 phases. It's a little bit different from the falling ashes in that as you inhale, visualize the energy expanding from your center to the periphery of the body. Exhaling, everything returns to the center. So there isn't that sense of settling down towards the earth, but with the exhalation, everything is returning back from the periphery of the body to the center in your lower belly. Expansion from the center and a condension back into the center. The center being the place the earth holds. And in fact, in some of the representations of the Chinese 5 elements, earth is drawn as being in the center rather than on the outside with the other elements and phases. So acknowledging this special place the earth holds in the 5 element system. Let's do one more. And returning back to Wuji, neutral posture. Noticing the effects of the practice. And as we did at the beginning, tuning into connection to yourself, to the space around you, to your breath, the sky above, and the earth below. Bringing the palms one over the other to your lower belly, to your dantian, inviting the energy cultivated in your practice to settle and store here in your very center.